Hello and welcome back to our race engine rebuild. Now that everything's all clean, we're going to reassemble everything, and the first part to go back in is the crank. Now all of our journal surfaces are taped up to protect them during transport, so this has got to come off before we do anything else. After a quick inspection of the piston rings to make sure they're installed and clocked correctly on the pistons, we're using a piston ring compressor tool to get the pistons and rods into the cylinder bores without us risking any damage to the rings on the way in. Next up is the sump and oil pump. Now these parts have been sat in the workshop for a little bit while the block and heads were at the machine shop, so they'll likely have maybe some little bits of dust and dirt in there that we really don't want to get into the oil supply. We made up our own baffled sump setup here with a little bit of sheet metal and a cupboard door hinge, so it's definitely not a fancy install, but it does its job in protecting the engine. Brandon has now finished rebuilding the head and is doing another check with the air compressor, and all's looking good there. And while the engine's out, we also wanted to take the chance to heat wrap the exhaust. This is helpful anyway, but on these old Triumph engines especially, because both of the manifolds are on the same side of the engine, which means that a lot of the heat from the exhaust can make its way into the intake. So at this point we noticed that one of our Welch plugs was looking a little bit worse for wear, so we decided to take the opportunity while the engine was out to get it changed. Once we'd sorted this out, we could get the camshaft in and move on to the timing. So here we're adjusting the valve lash, which is the little gap between the rocker arms and the top of the valves, and it's actually a really important thing to get right, as you need to leave a really small gap for thermal expansion when the engine heats up, but too much or too little can leave you with issues. Too big a gap and you'll end up with a noisy valve train, you'll get increased wear on the valve components, and they won't open quite as much as they need to, which will lose you a little bit of power. Too small a gap, however, and it can stop the valves from fully closing when the engine's hot, which will lose you compression, and it might even cause some backfires as well. So that is all we've got time for today. We were hoping we'd be able to get the engine in the car tonight, ready to get all plumbed in and tuned tomorrow and take it for a drive. But as always, there's been a few hiccups along the way that we've had to sort, which has held us back a little bit. But considering this morning we were taking a bare engine block out the boot of our car, we've done alright. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.